I got that California, got that
People aren't born equal, such a saying that applies perfectly well with characters in the Dragon Ball franchise. As such, characters like Goku and Vegeta have far exceeded most of the other heroes in their training, while other characters who continue to train are still total pushovers. However, there are a rare breed of characters that exist. These are the ones that intrigue while as well frustrate the fans most frequently. Characters who looked like they were getting ready for a turn the spotlight, only for that opportunity to be snatched away. There are a lot of different characters in the franchise who fit that criteria. Some are even dead. In this video, I'll be counting 10 different characters in the Dragon Ball franchise with wasted fighting or even character potential. However, I must mention this so people don't get confused. A character like Tien, while liked and certainly has potential like anyone else, I won't be counting him as he's a character that continuously trains and strives to be stronger. This list will be more focused and directed towards the characters who are squandering their potential by not training as hard, if at all actually. Also, a disclaimer, this list is empowered by my own opinion, therefore if you disagree you might share your own list in the comments down below.
all the stars!
Goldo is by far the weakest member of the Ginyu Force and the least strongest in this list. However, what separates him apart from anyone else is his frightening ability of stopping time. You see, Goldo possesses almost no gifted physical traits, as he has horrible stamina and isn't very good at fighting. Therefore, his heavy reliance on his ability to stop time for short periods has hindered him, and essentially became his downfall. Had Goldo trained, he would be one of the most overpowered characters in the show, perhaps even more dangerous than Hit, who can only skip time as opposed to stopping it completely.
How sad to work so hard for so little.
Sad for you!
I don't think this comes as a surprise anymore. Like Android 17, who has reached unimaginable heights of levels of strength, which are accompanied by infinite stamina, it's difficult to argue that Android 18 is not capable of the same feat that her twin brother can do. Not to say that I agree that artificial humans can be this strong, but hey, if we're gonna play with Dragon Ball Super rules, then 18 certainly is a wasted talent as a fighter.
Might Freeza have met his doom? My clan is feared throughout the universe. What fool dares challenge our supremacy?
Similarly with Android 18, King Cold is also a character that not only shows great fighting potential, but his character as a whole was a bit wasted. The problem with King Cold is that he was an intriguing character in Dragon Ball Z, but then got killed before he even got to do anything worth of significance. He was obviously someone who is considered powerful, though I think any real Dragon Ball fan would recognize exactly why he was killed off, as his character only served as shock value, and consider me shocked. Shockingly disappointed, that is. Frieza, the character who never trained once in his life, the guy who never experienced pain in a real battle prior to fighting Goku, the same dude who trains for 4 months and catches up to years and years of immeasurable amount of anguish and struggles that Goku and Vegeta went in order to reach their current state. Again, regardless whether you agree with his insane power-up, Frieza is an insanely talented individual, and to see him funnel all that talent by sitting around in a hover chair and barely challenge himself is a complete waste of his fighting brilliance.
素晴らしい。これがスーパーサイヤ人孫悟空の力ですか?
If you ever wondered what a Supreme Kai prodigy taking over the body of a Saiyan prodigy would look like, then you're looking at Goku Black, a character that reached an insane amount of strength by simply fighting with Goku once and mimicking his fighting style, incorporating it to his body. In addition, he's shown to receive Zenkais, or rather small to even huge amount of power boosts every time he fights. He also shows to get stronger by merely feeling pain, truly a character with endless strength. I mean, who knows how strong he could have been had he still lived. Therefore, his motivation of destroying all mortals instead of having the same outlook as Goku, of seeing them as rivals to better himself, truly hindered him and wasted his potential. Born with a power level of 10,000, Broly was all but destined for greatness ever since. However, due to his mental instability and his father's misguidance, Broly grew more and more evil and violent, being unable to control his power as it consumes him. It's really sad to see someone this strong, even naturally stronger than Frieza, not have any proper training. Now the case can also be said for Dragon Ball Super Broly, who's actually even more talented, something that Goku recognizes and corrects that by being his martial arts master. However, the reason why I highlighted the original Broly isn't only because of his immense natural power, but rather the wasted potential regarding his story. Toei Animation completely dropped the ball with the return of Broly in Movie 10 and Bayer Broly. They could have improved his character far more than the generic Kakarot yelling monster he has devolved into.
Big power.
Like any other villain in Dragon Ball Z, Majin Buu is a host to so much fighting potential, in addition to an insane wide range of different abilities. And while Buu has proven to be an immense potential asset to the Tournament of Power Universe 17, had he not slept for the 100th time, Buu has shown he could progress so much by actually doing something besides eating. Though one particular instance I like to point out, like Gohan, Buu has proven to have laying dormant power inside of him, when he ripped through dimensions while fighting Vegito. I mean, just look at Vegito, who was basically the strongest character in Dragon Ball Z history prior to Dragon Ball Super. If you look at that fight, he was easily dominating Gohan, but struggled for a bit once Buu started ripping through dimensions after getting incredibly angry. Making Vegito struggle even for a second is a huge feat. Adding that to his enormous arsenal of abilities, Buu is one of the most talented beings in the universe.
So, Hotshot, you want to fight Majin Buu?
Fight you? No, I want to kill you.
Of all the characters in Dragon Ball, none has frustrated the fans more than Gohan, specifically the trajectory of his importance in the story. The majority of Dragon Ball Z was built up hinting that Gohan has an incredible power in him waiting to be unleashed. And then in the battle with Cell, that potentially finally came to fruition. It looked like Gohan was set to take over the role of the protagonist from his dad and be the main hero going on and forward. Now, the issue with Gohan has little to do with power, which he always had, and more so with the utilization of his character. It seems he has been cited to a background character. He no longer had any relevancy or role to the series, as he fails to even make a cameo in the Dragon Ball Super Broly movie. It could actually be argued that Gohan is the most wasted character potential. However, I think there is at least one more character that is even more wasted.
It is all in here. It's part of my design.
Given the fact that Frieza himself, after a couple of months of training, managed to compete against god tier characters like Goku and Vegeta, plus Android 17 punching a few rocks in the woods got him a significant power boost, there is literally not a single hint to suggest Cell can't, who basically has all these character traits as part of his genetic makeup. Someone who basically has the best traits of the best fighters in the world. Cell, without a shadow of a doubt, possesses more potential than almost anyone on this list, especially Frieza and 17. Just imagine how terrifying Cell would be had he trained for a few weeks, let alone years. Now, this isn't a plea to bring back every dead character in the series, but I'd like to imagine how great Cell would have been if he was in the Tournament of Power.
Of course, I was the youngest Super Saiyan ever. You might need more time. Ah!
Remember when I said that Gohan was pushed to a background character after he was built up to being a significant one? Well, one character who hasn't even had a single prominent role aside from facilitating the existence of Gotenks is Goten. He watched his mother being killed by Super Buu, and aside from a few tears and goofing around as Gotenks, Goten was never really relied on. It's even more disappointing when you start realizing Goten is a teenager in Dragon Ball Super, and his size hasn't changed a bit from DBZ, which shows you how much they care about him in the show. I mean, if you think about it, the Pilaf gang has more screen time than Goten, and I'm not even joking. The sad thing is that you could tell half a dozen worth of story arcs about Goten, because potential is not only about power, but also character development. And if there is one character with the least amount of it, it has to be Goten. I actually made 2 prominent videos before discussing the misuse of Goten, so if you're interested in my full thoughts, I heavily urge you to watch those videos. Otherwise, I'll be just repeating myself here. But Goten is without doubt the most wasted character in the entire Dragon Ball franchise, because unlike all the characters we mentioned before, he had the least impact despite his insane talent of being a Super Saiyan at the age of 7.
Are you okay? Huh? You're a Super Saiyan! Ugh. I am. Is that bad? Oh, not another monster in the family!
Honestly, this list could have been a lot longer. I mean, with the introduction of Dragon Ball Super, it seems every character has some sort of potential, something that used to be exclusive to a few selective characters. I chose in this list the characters who we didn't see enough of, rather than characters who are already established as insanely strong. Though, I'd like to know what you guys think. Do you agree with this list or do you disagree? Who do you think is the most underrated Dragon Ball character in terms of their potential? Voice your opinions in the comment section down below. But most importantly, if you enjoyed this video, please give it a like. It motivates me a lot and makes me strive to make more content. Leave a comment and subscribe. Peace.